Guys, give me a S! S! Give me a E! E! Give me a R! R! Give me a D! D! Give me a I! I! Give me a C! C! Give me a E! E! What's that spell?
And I am just overwhelmed with the help.
Okay, first house is 2072.
And the group came and saved my home.
They must have got lost, so he's gonna give them the address.
See, that's how the bus ship.
Okay, we'll break the teams up by room and just bring it all out.
See Isaac from Mass come with the gloves.
Once you get what you need, if you're on the other side, go. If you're still not gonna go, on this side, stay over.
You gotta keep a pile to profile. That way they can utilize their muscle.
You pull it out. If she says keep it, we're going from the driveway over here. If it's going out with the trash, put it in the car. We'll have it. Trash here, good stuff here.
To Florida, I was expecting to just do disaster response like every year in the past. You know, go chop some trees, throw them in the woods, and go to the next job. But when I got here, I realized that it was much worse than I expected. People's whole homes were flooded, and it was in devastation. I couldn't even imagine it. Like, what happens if my house gets like that? Like, what would I do? How would I handle that? And then I realized how much of a difference we were making, what service is really like, and how people react to service. When we serve others the way we're doing it here in Florida, we're really being the hands and feet of Jesus, and that makes a real difference. I never realized how satisfying it can be and how much it affects others when we act like the hands and feet of Jesus and serve people in a practical way.
Got around 1.5 foot, 2 feet into my house, the actual upstairs, and 1 inch of water. People don't realize this. 1 inch of water does a lot more damage than all the hurricane wind. Wind takes your roof off. You might have a tree fall through the roof, but roofs can be fixed. When you get water in your house, when it gets wet, you lose your memories. And you know, thankfully for these guys that have come out here and helped us today. I mean, I'm amazed seeing my house being this open, and actually I might have a chance of recovery.
Every faculty in man
is a workman
that is building for time
and for eternity.
Day by day, the structure is going up.
Although the possessor is not aware of it.
It is a building which must stand either as a beacon of warning because of its deformity,
or as a structure which God and angels will admire for its harmony with the divine model.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They were so grateful and so thankful that we were here to help us. And like, even in our time of need, like, we didn't really need anything, but they still offered us, drinks, food, and it was just really touching to me because you can go through all of this and there's still a giving place in your heart.
We feel as if we're not doing as much as we could be doing. But God is doing things that we couldn't even express in words through us.
And at the end of our Bible study, we prayed for everybody in the community and that they would receive the help that they needed. And when I came home, y'all were here. So it was really a blessing, really a blessing. Y'all are wonderful.
I just want to say thank you to you people for what you've come and done for my neighborhood.
And I really think that your angels God put on earth to help, and I'm serious about that. Serious.
They cleared that room out.
Yeah, well, when in small pieces like that,
The better. Not as dense.
yeah.
So my favorite thing here in Florida so far has been, like, I remember my favorite thing was like the first day that we came here, we were all like working really hard and stuff. And then that moment when we all got into a big circle and we were all like, we prayed with them and then we sang the song and like the people came down and like all the owners of the house just like when we were singing the song, they just started crying. And like I remember that first day, like shivers went up and down my back and it just like felt like God was right there. And it was really awesome because I've never felt that before and it was really cool.
And these kids' cheerful demeanor and thoroughness in the job and the work they do. I could not have done this by myself.
Worship was all about faith. And I had planned already the menu up till Friday's dinner. And that Thursday during the day, I got a call from somebody from contacts that Andre had. And on the menu that I had put Friday night would be soup. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to make the soup, but I had put soup. So Pastor Daniel Riddick from Trinity Church called, saying that he had 2 pallets of water if we wanted or more for us. Oh, and by the way, I told them, well, if you have anything else, our kids are all vegetarian. So he said, by the way, there is a shipment of soup coming in. And I said, I got goosebumps at the moment. And I said, well, what kind of soup? And he says, I don't know. I said, well, it's going to be vegetable minestrone soup because that soup is for us. And Thursday afternoon, late afternoon, we got the soup and it was minestrone vegetable soup. So for us, it was a blessing. Plus, we're getting blessings after blessings of things that are showing up. So many people donating so we can feed all these children that are doing a wonderful job.
All right, well, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about our disaster response trip. And one thing that impacted me hugely was on Monday morning, after being in Florida for just a little while, we pulled out for the day. And there's a 6-lane road, and we're trying to turn left. Now, it's pretty hard for the bus to make a left-hand turn out of the church. So typically what I would do is I would always turn to the right and loop back around and come to the intersection to go to a little place called Middleburg, Florida. And this particular day, Monday morning, the lanes all opened up. I was able to pull straight out and make a left-hand turn right behind Debbie, which was in front of me in her Suburban. And we get to the very first stoplight, and we're cruising along, and it turns yellow on me. So I start to slow down, and just as I start slowing down, do I see a car accident in front of me. Somebody pulled out in front of Debbie and Miriam, and her car turned completely at a 90-degree angle, and during that time, I was able to stop the bus. And there's quite a few things that go through your mind when you see somebody that's close to you get into a car accident. So I was able to stop the bus, put it in park, had a couple staff right in the front with me, which was amazing to be able to have right there. Ben was right next to me, and I turned to him and said, "Buddy, you need to call 911 right now." And I jumped off the bus. Mr. Crum was not very far behind me when I stepped off the bus, and I was able to open Debbie's door, which was pretty much a blessing, because a lot of times vehicles have automatic locks in them when you start driving. Either she unlocked it or something, or I don't exactly know what happened at that very moment, but her door opened and she was laying with her head on the airbag, and I was talking to her, and surprisingly enough, the car is smart enough to know that she got in a car accident, and she was talking to OnStar and talking about what was wrong and what was wrong with her, and I felt that she was okay, and I asked her about Miriam. And as I turned to find out about Miriam, there was no response. I could not see Miriam because there was a lot of debris or stuff that was in the back of the car that had come forward to the car. And so I ran around to attend to Miriam. I could see her, but she wasn't moving. And that's a little bit of a scary thought to see. So I ran back around to the other side and I unlocked the door because it didn't seem to be stuck in any way. So when I unlocked it, it was able to open, and just as I got to her, I was able to pull all of the stuff off. And at that point, I was so thankful that, you know, both of my friends were still with us, alive. Things could have ended up much, much worse. They were cruising, you know, speed limit 45, 55 miles an hour, and just came to a complete stop. And the other couple survived quite well. They were an older couple, and for some reason, when they got struck, their car decided to continue to drive, and he was quick enough in the response to turn the wheel and turn back to the intersection and end up in a ditch, which stopped their vehicle because I think the accelerator had gotten stuck. And in the end, everybody survived. They're okay. Debbie ended up with a broken knee, and I can just say that I'm grateful to see even when the devil's really, really trying hard to stop the work of these kids going out door to door and helping people each and every day, that as a staff we were able to regroup and figure our day out, make sure that they were well taken care of at the hospital, and return with our work for the day. And I know that the devil had plans to try to shut us down, so to speak, and I can say that I'm glad that we serve a God that is much bigger than that. And in spite of all the struggles and the things that happened that day, it was a very positive day, one that we could see God working in, and that work that we were able to accomplish and get done. And as a result, the church pulled together and helped out in their situation, and they were taken care of. And you know, I just see God's blessing in every step of the way along our mission trip, and I just praise his name for it.
The lady said that she saw us on the news and she thought, man, boy, I pray that they're able to come to this house where they need the help. And then she says when she went to go to the house today, there we were, and we were helping out, and she was so excited. She said, praise the Lord, thank God that we were there. So it was really a blessing to be able to be there and be a help, and you know, somebody to desire us to come because they felt that we make such an impact. And we want to thank God for those opportunities to share and reach someone in a special way that it's meaningful to them.
2, 3 left! Come on, put it in, throw it over! Ah!
Hello, hello, hello.